Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here with Mark Conroy, who's Managing Director, Americas for Silversea Cruises. We're on board the Silver Cloud, which was recently refurbished as a luxury expedition ship. And we're going to talk luxury expedition cruises. And this is Insider Travel Report. Mark, this is an incredible ship. It was an incredible transformation. Maybe talk a little bit about what you had to do to this ship to turn it into a luxury expedition cruise as opposed to one of your classic ships.
Well, what happened, James, is that basically this was our very first ship, and we wanted to do two things. We wanted to update the color combination, the color palette, and bring it up to standards, and then replace some of the technical equipment. But at the same time, we wanted to make it into an expedition ship, and how we did that basically was we took the hull plating and along the waterline and below it and replaced it, making it with thicker hull plating. We added extra reinforcements in the hull so that it could take the shock of the ice. We changed the bulbous bow, and we modified the rudders and the propellers in order for them to be able to go through the ice. In addition to that, because obviously we're working in extremes, we placed every sliding glass door in every window in the ship to make
it's a little hard to do.
Exactly, to make them better, more airtight, because obviously we go from very cold environments to very warm environments. So every sliding glass door on the ship was changed. The entire heating and pumping system was replaced on the ship, and really kind of almost took her down to bare metal and started over again.
And of course, you put in all these Zodiac, boats as well. Right?
Yes, exactly. We have, I think, 14 or 15 Zodiacs aboard, plus about 8 or 10 sea kayaks, and we had to find a place to store them, and then more importantly, a way to move them and easily launch them so that we don't have people waiting while we're launching the Zodiacs. So we have a very intricate system where they rack off and drop down in the water, and they can get the Zodiacs launched in 10 to 15 minutes. It's a pretty good deal.
And then, of course, you have a whole expedition team on board to guide all of the guests in these great places. Right?
Yeah, initially we thought we would probably have about 18 to 19 expedition staff, and now we have 28. Because of the fact that the ship's doing so well, we're running very full, and in order to make the operation work properly, you need to have enough guests, and manpower is really what makes it, and experienced manpower is what really makes it work. It's interesting, these expedition leaders and the boat drivers and guides, in addition to doing what they do, their specialty, most of them are highly educated, many of them scientists, who are doing this work because they love to get to the environment of the Arctic and the Antarctic.
Yeah, well, we saw some of them earlier today at the session you had, and really amazing people, adventurers that it's the quality of the staff and their experience are really not to be believed. It's a great thing to have them on board.
Well, Oscar Dunn, for instance, he actually when he's off duty, he actually comes and does sales presentations for agents, doing cruise nights and things like that. And he's been to Antarctica, I think, 21 times. And he said the coolest thing about Antarctica, even though he's been there 21 times, every expedition's different. Mm-hmm. So he's got some amazing photographs and can tell you amazing stories about Antarctica.
Now, how many expedition ships are now in the fleet for Silversea?
Well, we have 3. We have the Cloud, we have the Explorer, we have the Galapagos. Actually, we have 4, and the Silver Galapagos and the Silver Discoverer. Mm-hmm. So the Cloud and the Explorer are doing the polar regions plus in between. We've got the Galapagos year-round, and the Galapagos, which is probably our highest guest satisfaction ship in the fleet. And then we've got the Discoverer doing places that most of the places I can't even pronounce the name of the places it goes to.
Well, there were some that you were talking about where you got an upcoming at some point, the Northeast Passage, which I thought I know the Northwest, but I don't know the Northeast, and it turns out that's going all the way from Alaska over to, I don't know, maybe it's the other way.
So Alaska to Tromsø.
Alaska to Tromsø, and which is above Siberia, right?
Exactly, and this is something that Conrad's been pitching and working at for like 3 years, and we think we've got it down to where it needs to be, but it will be one of those trips. A lot of people have done Northwest, but very few companies have done Northeast.
Yeah, now Conrad, of course, is the gentleman who's in charge of all your expedition itineraries, right?
Exactly. He's this dreamer, and he's got such great experience because he started off working on ships, and he worked for a lot of different expedition companies, and really has taken all the things he's learned and has a huge passion about making customers really enjoy that expedition experience.
Now, what would you tell travel agents about how to sell this kind of luxury expedition cruise today?
Well, I think it's part about finding out what your customer really wants to do. And I hate to use the word, but I don't know if there's a better word, what's on their bucket list. And places like the Galapagos, everybody's heard of it, but nobody knows where it is or how to get there. And of course, that's an easy way to begin. We also appeal to multi-generational, where the families come, the grandparents, the kids, the grandkids, and it's a great experience to enjoy. But there's two kinds of customers that we get. Our normal luxury customers who have those destinations on the list, so don't be afraid to offer it to them. But then we've got these people that wouldn't be caught dead on a cruise, but they want to go to these destinations, and you can't get to the Galapagos easy without doing it on a cruise. You can't get to Antarctica really without doing it on a cruise. So there are people that normally wouldn't take a cruise, but they want to go to these destinations. So it's a great sale because not only, I mean, the rates are high because they're very difficult cruises to run, they're expensive to run, but they come back, the customers pay quite a bit to go, but it's still reasonable. The agent makes quite a bit of money in commission, and of course the customers come home very, very happy.
Now, why do you think luxury expedition cruising has suddenly taken off? And I mean, you've been doing it now in Silversea for 10 years, but now all of a sudden we're seeing a slew of other brands trying to get into the market.
Well, I think a lot of people look at it and think it's easy, but it's not easy. It's complicated because not only do you have to run a great technical operation, but you have to have this great expedition experience. You have to have people who know how to run Zodiacs, repair outboard motors, do all these other things. But the reason it's really taken off is there is a lot of wealth around, and there's also so much discussion about nature and the things that are happening to nature, and what people to a certain extent want to see stuff before it changes further. And the other thing, I think they want to help us sustain what we're doing, and one of the things that we try to do on every expedition cruise is to make sure that the only thing we leave by, the speaker said it today, the only thing we want you to leave behind are footprints. Because we want to make sure that we keep the destinations we go to as pristine as possible.
Well, as you said also, if you think there's a glut in luxury expedition cruising, I mean, even with some of the more lines introducing the product, there's really not that many cabins in total. Right?
Well, I think I said today in an interview, somebody asked me about it, and I said, well, there's 28 expedition ships. The average one is around 120 guests, so you're talking about around 4,000 new beds in the marketplace. That's one mega ship.
Yeah.
Actually, it's smaller than one mega ship. So I think the market is there. I always like to talk about the fact that there's 75,000 suites on contemporary and premium ships that should be sailing on luxury brands, but they don't know they can afford it. And so if you think about that, 75,000 customers, there's plenty of people to feed these, feed the extra capacity that's in expedition, particularly at Silversea.
Well, Mark, it's been a fascinating cruise to get to know this new Silver Cloud in its new formation. It's a great product, and we're looking forward to more from Silversea Cruises.
We're really excited because what this has really done for us is today a customer, if they want to do one of these amazing destinations, they don't have to change brands. They can stay with what they know and they love, which is Silversea. And then that way you can go on a great cruise, have an amazing expedition experience, but at the same time enjoy all those things that we're known for: wonderful food, great hospitality, a wonderful crew, and great spaciousness. Where else in the world you're in Antarctica and you can get a choice of 5 different pillows? Come on.
Well, that's been my dream. I tell you, to go to Antarctica, and for 5 different pillows, I'm there.
There you go. Thank you very much, James. We really appreciate it.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.